So, welcome. Welcome, Mama. Welcome, Christy. Welcome, Mel. Welcome, Dennis. Welcome, Bianca. Welcome, Carmen. And what I'm welcoming you to is the Constructive Habit Layering Masterclass. And this is something like 3 years ago, I had no awareness of this whatsoever. And I was working at a job. So like there I was like, I would go to a job during the day, I would work there. And after that, I would get off, and then I had all this free time. And my free time would just be like a flow kind of state. And I didn't really have structure to it. And because of that, my results in my life were on a hamster wheel. And there weren't any new changes in my daily life. So there weren't any new results being created. And now, fast forward a year and a half, 2 years past that, then I actually learned about what I'm about to share. And through learning that, I began to implement structure into my life. I began to implement more like the masculine, to where I had steps to where I actually now was working towards a goal that I wanted to accomplish. So now from that point, probably from 2020 to right now, I've been steadily using this exact technique. And it's what got me to the First Awakened Life Live. It's how I was able to schedule my plane tickets. So this is a part of my essence, what I'm about to share. And so that's sort of the backstory. And now I'd like to go into why you're here. And you're here because you have regressive and appalling fruits in your life that are taking you farther away from the real empowered you. And another reason that you're here is you're finishing the day and you're going to sleep feeling unaccomplished. You've done all these things during the day, and yet you go to bed and you don't feel accomplished, even after everything you've done. So the third reason that you're here is you feel and are experiencing an inner knowing through your intuition that what you have the potential to receive from this masterclass, it has more value than what you paid to be a participant. So if any of those pertain to you, that's why you're here. If none of those pertain to you, I invite you to leave right now. So continuing, I'm going to do an exercise, and this exercise is, we're going to take 3 minutes, and I'll set a timer, and we're going to list 5 goals that you feel are aligned with your real empowered you. So not the you now, but the highest version of yourself. You're going to write 3 goals for the highest version of you during this 3-minute time period, and hold your inspiration until we begin the timer, and let it build up, And when I say go, we're going to list these 5 goals for the highest version of yourself. And so these are goals that go beyond you. So typically we make goals for ourselves. These goals that I'm going to list is for beyond you. These are goals that might affect your great grandchildren, or it even has the potential to affect like the 7th generation. So your grandchildren's 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 grandchildren. So with that in mind, that is going to be the intention with these goals. We're going to look beyond our tiny physical experience, keeping in mind the seventh generation, and generate 5 objectives and outcomes that pertain to that. So I'm going to start the timer and continue to hold your inspiration, let it build up. So is everybody clear on the intention with this exercise?
So you said one, you said 3, and then
Great question. And it's a 3-minute time frame that we're going to list 5 goals. Any other questions? Perfect. So begin now. Awesome. Does everybody have 5 goals? 4? 5? Awesome. We'll go with it. So, with this habit layer, there's some scientific methodology behind this. There's reasons why it works the way that it does. And some of that is related to synaptic pruning. And synapses are the connections that are between the neurons in your brain. So they're what connects the neurons to each other. Those are our synapses. And with the basic idea with synaptic pruning is that your brain prunes away connections between neurons that do not get used, and it builds up the connections between the neurons that get used more frequently. So this synaptic pruning occurs with every habit that we build. And the more you do and be something, the stronger and more efficient the connection becomes. And the connections are the synapses, and this is what leads to mastery of something. An example would be a piano player that's been playing piano for 10 years, and he's able to just play the piano and he barely puts any thought to it. And then there's a person who hasn't ever played piano, and he goes to attempt to play the piano, and it doesn't even work. The connections in the brain, they were there, but because of the synaptic pruning, it's not one of his habits, so the brain prunes that out. So for this person that hasn't been practicing the piano, that's not an important part of that person's life, so the brain is aware of that and prunes that out. And one of the best ways to build a new habit is to identify a current habit that you already express. So anything that we currently do in our daily lives, and stack a new behavior on top of that habit. And this method is called the habit layering. And there's a formula for it. Formula is this.
It's really light.
It is. Gracias. Now we're done. So that's the exact formula. And what this is after or before your current habit that you already have, I will, and then you plug in the new habit that you intend to embody and incorporate. So this could look like, an example could be after, using the after in this case, I sit for breakfast, being the current habit, I will new habits, say one thing I'm grateful for that occurred today. So it's this is your current habit, and your new habit is either happening after or before your current habit, and then you plug in your new habit. So that's the exact formula. And this works well because your current habits, the ones that you do on a daily basis, those are already in your brain. So when you add new habits to that, imagine a main root of a tree or a plant, and that's your habit you currently have. And then as you now begin to add new habits, you're creating synapses that are connecting neurons and creating additional pathways off of that main root that then have the potential to become another main root or a new habit with continuation of doing it. So that's that. And then, so I'll give you just a couple minutes and take a moment and identify your favorite of the 5 outcomes or goals that you wrote initially. Go right now. And this is the most aligned goal or outcome.
Yes, I'm like also really
That is your intuition and your feeling. You choose.
Do you think right now we are moving out of fire and ready
The formula was just general information. We're not necessarily filling it out right now. That's part of the presentation. The main thing now is to pick your desired goal and outcome. The one that's your favorite, the one that speaks to your intuition. Goal. One of your 5 goals. And it could be, you could view a goal as being an outcome. And as you're ready, go ahead and put your thumbs up. That way I can see. Ready, Roman? Mom, you have a goal? 1. So now, this is the part where this has nothing to do with anything we just did, and we'll plug it back into what we've just done. So this might be a new sheet of paper, and what it's going to look like is like a list. And this is a list of everything that you do and be from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep. And I'll actually give an example. I'll write my own list up here, but this list is going to be 1 or 2 words that are explaining the activities that you do, and you're writing them in a list in the order that you intend to accomplish them. And this is your daily activities. And for example, number 1 could be wake up. Yeah. Okay.
Are we writing my to-do list from the time we wake up? or-
No, this is your current daily habits. And I like starting with wake up, because it's something we do every day. And there's some scientific evidence that there's a reason I put wake up first. So, and I'll go into that. So go ahead and make your list of everything you do or be. Meditation can be part of this.
Restroom. Really, the restroom. Yeah, we're gonna keep on. I hold it up.
That's actually great. Great sweet. And then at the end of your list, write success.
You only go to the bathroom.
That's the only time I write it. So does everybody have a list of their entire name? Going back to the reason I wrote Wake Up Chorus, these are all in order in the exact way that I intend to accomplish these things. And there's scientific evidence that backs up as you accomplish your goal. So for example, after I wake up, I usually, actually, part of this could be write this list. Or I'm just going to put right for this example. And so I may not write this until this part of my day. And then once I write the list, what the scientific evidence shows is that when we cross off what we've accomplished, for example, I woke up and now I crossed it off, I now receive a dopamine hit in my brain for achieving set tasks. And it's just awesome. And thanks for speaking to it. So as we accomplish it and we cross off the task, we receive a dopamine hit, we feel good, we have a feel-good hormone released in our body and in our brain. And additionally, that is now no longer on the radar. So then you look at what's next. And then what's next is the rest. Brushing teeth, shower, exercising, running, saying I'm grateful, affirmations. And these, each time you accomplish something, it gets crossed off. And by crossing it off, look at how many dopamine hits you have the potential to receive throughout your day. And additionally, when you cross it off, it's no longer taking up brain space in your brain. So rather than having all these ideas in your head of how you want to go about your day and accomplish things, this is now irrelevant because we're crossed off. And now you can look at the next thing that you intend to accomplish for set day. And so currently, this is an actual representation of how I intend to be today. So this is my day right here. And right now, that has been accomplished. This has been accomplished, as well as this, as well as this. Currently, we're in the Constructive Habit Layering Masterclass. So that's where we're at. And so from here, now that you have your list, now that you have an awareness that as we cross off the items, we feel good, and we no longer focus on the things we've already accomplished because they're done. And we now redirect our focus to the next task. And then, so with this exercise, I now want you to modify your activities, and these are your activities, your list is, and you're going to modify them by, you can eliminate a habit and plug in a new one, or you can add more habits to the ones that currently exist. And then, for example, I could say I'm grateful while I'm running. And so then putting two habits together. So now let's take 9 minutes to modify our list, and we'll be modifying it with the intention of each day building a new habit and taking a step towards your favorite goal and the one you intuitively chose on your paper. So what are some things, if your example is health, you could stretch every day, and in 365 days, that's 365 stretches. So it's small things that accomplish massive results. So with these 9 minutes, now I invite you to modify your list to take you to say goal that you want to work towards.
You do this list every day, and you do the day and what you have going on it.
Yes,
And do you always have the same, do you have certain things that you do this day? And is there a
Yes.
distinction?
correct. There is some things I do every single day.
Like you were in class last time, you don't have class on there.
This is specific for today. This is not yesterday. This is today. But this list, will just be incorporating like new habits into the current list that you have of what you already do to take us towards the goal that we want to accomplish. And it's a goal that's bigger than you. And when we do something bigger than us, we're more likely to accomplish it just from that aspect. So I'm going to start a timer right now. And you have 9 minutes to modify your list. Beginning now. It's time. Did everyone complete it? You feel complete? Feel complete?
Can I share my information?
Go for it.
So I wrote down like things that I do, and then I was like layering it. Like I started realizing that I can do a lot more while I'm doing things that I'm doing. I can listen to audio books, listen to YouTube videos that help me accomplish what I want to accomplish. That I wrote down the big thing that I want to do. So that's just something that I was like, oh shit. So to me, how I can utilize the time more effectively.
Great. That's the idea. I'm glad you're putting it in because you get out what you put in. So now essentially, to Christy's question about how is it something that I do every day and is it different every day? To that's a direct affirmative yes. Each day, this list that I write is different. And I also write it on the day that I intend to accomplish it. Because I've noticed in the past, I've written it like the night before. And what I've noticed when I write it the night before is that the next day comes and it might look completely different than it did the previous day. Like the perception I had of the next day, the previous day, when that day actually comes, it could be completely different in how it plays out. And another thing that is very important and that I incorporate into this, I do not write it into my list, but I'm going to write it for visual purposes, is spontaneity. And this is important because if you have this and you're now feeling attached to accomplishing this, there's no room for spontaneity and you can beat yourself up if you don't accomplish what you set out to accomplish. So what spontaneity allows for is you could like do the reading here if you choose to, and then still cross it off, but it wouldn't be, say, in the order that you intended it. So you might, with spontaneity, do your tasks in a different order than what you wrote them. And additionally, like with writing it the same day, with that, it's aligned with the energy that you're feeling that day. So each day is different, but each day you have your big goal, your main objective that you picked. You have that in your forefront, so that's your objective. And then as you write this and plan your day, it's taking you towards that goal, even though every day this can look different than the day before. And so with the new habits that we just wrote, we can incorporate that and create those synapses. But what I'm speaking to here is to not get tied up in feeling like you have to do the new habits every day. It's more of, is this what I'm feeling today? And is it actually going to take me to where I want to go now? And so those are some nuances that with this, like the spontaneity and writing it on the exact day that you intend to execute it. And that is the completion. So that gives you many tools for, this is like a masculine structure that allows the feminine creative potential to flow and navigate through the structure that you create. That's complete.
have a question going back to the conflict with word